Well, as you can see here now, this is all fitted in place, just as a test, just to see how it lines up, and it's all bang on perfect. I did make this bigger. It was quite a bit smaller, but by the time I fit the cleat and stuff, I'm going to need a little bit more room. But I don't want this too bulky, as this is going to be a platform to fish off. Hopefully you'll see that in the videos if this all works out. I'm hoping this will be strong enough. I have fiberglass the underside twice. There's also supports underneath. There's like one here, there's one along here. Basically it's doubled up in places. I didn't want to double a whole lot of it up, because this 24mm ply will be quite heavy with the fiberglass. So I don't want too much weight on the front end of the boat. I think by the time I've done all the fiberglass in, it'll be quite balanced. But obviously we have to do like sea trials to test it out. So the next stage is now, take all this back out and then start fiberglassing. I'm using some woven edging tape, it's 4 inches wide, to basically go up underneath here. You'll see that on the camera. And then basically once that's done, I'm going to do the same along here, and basically under here as well, on this board. Then it's just the normal fiberglass mat, the cross strand stuff. I'm covering everything. I'm going to be bringing it up and over and around the gunnels to here. I'm going to be fiberglassing this and this in together in one go. That's what I'm going to try and do anyway. It's going to be a bit awkward reaching under here, but that's what I'm going to try and do. So both of these can be tied together. So basically the whole front end of the boat will be one piece. So that's it. More than likely I'll do a time lapse on the fiberglassing. If there's any bits that I can show you which might educate you a little. If there's any bits that I can show you which may educate you or help you, I'll do a little video on it. But to be fair, it's not that difficult. So the plan will be to start off, I'll be getting resin on this first and allow it to soak in if it wants to. There's a chance that it might not. So I'm going to coat everything with resin, give it a chance to soak in, and then start laying the mat on. What I'm going to do here now is acetone all of this bare fiberglass everywhere. Anywhere I'm going to be sticking fiberglass, I'm going to go over it now with acetone, just to get rid of any oils or greases or anything like contaminants, which will stop this fiberglass like adhering to it. I'll put on a time lapse and we'll go over the whole thing with acetone and then we're ready to go. I do have my mask on, so you might not have had to hear me too well. I'm going to start fiberglassing the second coat on now. This has just gone a little bit tacky, so if I fiberglass this on now, it's going to key it all together. So I'm going to do that piece first, do it in smaller sections, tie it all in, all the way around. Well, this is the progress so far. This piece is fiberglass around the edges. This is all still a little bit tacky. So what I'm going to do is get in that hole and fiberglass underneath there and tie this front piece in with the top piece. But as you can see, it's taking shape now. This front piece is looking quite tidy. I'm quite happy with it. But anyway, for my first attempt fiberglassing properly, it's not been too bad to be fair. You just got to do your preparation right. I've sanded it back to the bare fiberglass for a good key. I acetoned it all to remove any grease or any crap, which you've seen me doing on the video. And then basically lay your fiberglass on. And once it's on, give it a good roll to get the resin to penetrate through the fibres in the fiberglass. And if you look at that, that's the finish we've got. It's nice and flat. This is still a bit tacky. I don't touch it too much, but it's setting nice. This has all had 2 coats. And next, get the rest of that done. And then we'll get that front panel in as well. I'm not sure if you can hear me very well. I coated this about 15 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago. So it's got tacked up, and now I'm going to be fiberglassing this area here. I don't really want to do it as a how-to video, because it's my first time doing it. So I can't teach you something when I'm still learning, but I'm going to show you the way I'm doing it. And so far, it's turning out fine. One thing I'm finding a lot easier is ripping the edges off, so we've got no straight edges at all. It seems a lot easier to feather it in. You could pour the resin on and then roller it, but I'm finding it better to stipple it in with the brush. I'm getting a more even coat. What I'm doing the corners first. You will find it's quite stiff, and after a couple of minutes this resin soaks in and it goes like tissue. I add it like this now, then I'll roller it. If there's any areas after I've rolled it that seem a little bit dry or not enough resin, I'll add more. You'll see it pulling the resin through the mat. As you can see, it looks quite dry. After you roller it, it soaks it up, it like absorbs more of it. Well, that's it, finished. Untitled coats of fiberglass everywhere down here. I've left a little gap right there and one right there in that corner, and I've also left a little gap under that lip for a bit of airflow. The bottom two is for water to escape if any water does end up in there. Well, that's it, that's the front cupboard done. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, and I'll see you in the next one.